Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, listen. Um, Something was brought to my attention and it's interesting to say the least. Have you ever heard of Project Stingray? The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has acknowledged the presence of unauthorized Stingray devices in Washington, D.C. and other cities as well. And these devices, also known as IMSI capture or cell site simulators, they mimic portable cell phone towers and they capture the IMSI numbers of our cell phones, which are unique identifiers for subscribers and cell service providers. These stingrays can also intercept phone calls, text messages, uh, cellular data, and they might even block our phone usage. There are small portable versions, which is called the Kingfish, and some reports are suggesting that the basic passive of this IMSI catcher can be constructed for as little as $7. Yes, it's crazy. Watch.
Or at one of these. It doesn't matter. This can find you. The common name, Stingray. Technically, a cell site simulator. First developed for military use, it's made its way into local law enforcement. It can track a person down to the room they're in if they have their cell phone on them. Stingrays turn these into homing devices. And that's just the beginning.
These are tracking devices. This is emitting a signal. This is GPS.
Mike Mino with the North Carolina branch of the ACLU has been watching the spread of Stingrays for years.
It's my understanding that the software that a lot of these devices use is capable of capturing things like your text messages, the numbers you're calling and receiving calls from. We know for sure they're getting people's location.
Here's how it works. Cell phones are always trying to connect to nearby cell towers. A Stingray acts like a cell tower decoy. In what's called a man-in-the-middle attack, it tricks cell phones into thinking it's the nearest cell tower, phones connect to the Stingray, and police can access a range of personal information. But they don't just get intel on one phone. Every phone nearby is forced to divert to the Stingray. Calls are passed on to a real cell tower. Data scooped up stays with police.
When you ask them why they're using it, they'll say, well, we're targeting certain individuals, but the nature of the technology is so expansive that you cannot use this without countless innocent people having their data captured as well.
The I-Team has learned at least 3 law enforcement agencies in the Triangle have been using cell site simulators, but they don't like to talk about it, and may not be allowed to. These 2 purchase orders show Raleigh and Durham police bought variations of the Stingray within the last 10 years. Raleigh's purchase order, obtained by the I-Team 2 years ago, shows the department paid more than $120,000 for the device. Separate documents obtained by the ACLU show Durham spent nearly twice that. In spite of those purchase orders, both departments claimed not to be using one when the I-Team asked recently. Raleigh says they stopped using theirs because of outdated technology. With the Stingray, though, secrecy is part of the deal. Durham's contract with the device's manufacturer includes a strict non-disclosure clause, not just about the Stingray, but about the agreement itself and its subject matter.
There is such secrecy around this, and I think it's because it's so powerful.
I have a cell site simulator, and we do use it.
Wake Sheriff Donnie Harrison is the only current law enforcement officer we could find here or elsewhere willing to talk even a little about the device and how it's used.
It's a very useful tool that we use, not only for the bad guys, but for looking people that are lost, looking people that say they're going to commit suicide. Sometimes we have used them for children that's missing that have phones. And basically, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Harrison told us Wake County has had a cell site simulator since 2008. He insists they're always within the law and always get a warrant first, but there's very little public documentation of those warrants or of the use of stingrays in general here or in any of the cities in which we looked.
But no, we don't like to talk about it. You know, when a general goes in battle, he doesn't give out his battle plans.
It's the classic question, safety or privacy? Law enforcement will tell you these things get bad guys off the street and help good people out in the meantime. Critics say we just don't know, and we don't, by design.
As long as we do it lawfully, I don't care what people say. My job is to keep people safe.
The public needs to know more. I think this is something that the courts need to know more about. There are real questions about
These stingrays, they operate by posing as legitimate cell sites, allowing law enforcement, yeah, to track and apprehend criminal suspects, which in general can be seen as beneficial. However, their high cost, ranging anywhere from $25,000 to $130,000, makes them accessible to not only law enforcement, but also to potentially malicious actors like criminals and foreign government. Now, Homeland Security has opted not to speculate on who might be using these devices for whatever purposes. And the widespread availability of these stingrays initially were designed for military and intelligence use only, has extended to local and state law enforcement in Canada, in the US, and in the UK. And the term stingray has become a generic descriptor, if you will, for such technology. These devices can be deployed from vehicles, airplanes, helicopters, or in recent, drones. Yeah. You know, all the drone activity that we were seeing? That's why I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. You see, Project Stingray, I think, is what's going on here, guys. Okay? All those drones that we were seeing, the more you know. Okay? So, the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, has documented the use of these cell site simulators by local and state police in numerous states, including Washington State, Nevada, California, New York, amongst others. However, many agencies keep their use confidential, suggesting that the actual prevalence might be higher than reported. You see, in 2017, the ACLU noted that 72 agencies in 24 states possessed this technology, up to from 42 agencies, I think it was, in 17 states in 2014. But federal agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the NSA also use these devices. But significant investments have been made in these technologies, obviously, as you can tell, with the Department of Justice spending about $71 million, probably more by now, and Homeland Security about $24 million on cell site simulation technology. Now, in Florida, police have admitted to using stingrays over 200 times, probably more by now, since 2010, without court warrants or disclosure. Scary thought, isn't it? Citing non-disclosure agreements with manufacturers as a reason for not seeking judicial approval. I know. So this situation, it underscores the vulnerability of personal data in the digital age, which is highlighting how anything said or done online could potentially be intercepted. hence censorship. Yeah. Despite the availability, okay, of some apps that are designed to detect stingrays, these countermeasures are often ineffective, leaving individuals with limited defenses against such surveillance. So, you know how the FBI was going to houses saying, you need to take down these videos of these drones? Gotcha. Okay. This is what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. Because how do you think they know which house to go to with the videos? And it's not just by going on your social media. I'm just saying. Okay? They're tracking us, y'all. They're tracking every aspect of our lives. And I'm hoping and praying to God that 47 can stop this frickin' madness. Because this is a no bueno. It is a no-go. Okay? The stuff that I have on my phone of my grandchildren, you know, I mean, of them like with Santa and, you know, opening their presents on Christmas and stuff like that. That's for me and my husband, my kids and stuff like that. That is not for the FBI. This is not for the cops. That is for our memory. What the frig? You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay, yeah, you want to take a look at the hundreds of pictures that I have of my cats and dogs? Fine, whatever. But you have no right to look at the pictures of my grandchildren. That is for us. I mean, serious. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, we have pictures of them growing up, first day of school, stuff like that, you know, the day that Evie Rose was born. You do not need to be seeing pictures of my daughter in the hospital bed. You don't need to be seeing nothing. That is for our memory, and that is it. Fucking creepazoids. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, wait, there's more. So this little gem was dropped on my lap. Okay. This is another rabbit hole if you so choose to go down. Romans 8:28 says, as we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Okay. As one woman exits prison, as another passes. Cecile Richards was just following someone's example. While Cecile Richards was going down, Trump was coming up and took off. After a certain procedure took the lives of millions of innocent souls, number 47 just pardoned pro-life advocate Bevelyn Williams, in which Harris, Pelosi, and Biden put her in prison for 3 years for protesting this said procedure. Bevelyn, who is the mother of 2 beautiful babies, entered jail on October 2024. Other pardons of pro-life Americans forthcoming. Bevelyn and 4 other pro-life Americans sat outside of a clinic praying. They were found guilty and faced up to 11 years in prison, including an 87-year-old woman named Eva. Bevelyn's husband gets to bring his wife home to their babies. Now, after getting her arm tickets in 2023, Cecile Richards was diagnosed with a rare glioblastoma, which is now not rare at all due to SV40, which is found hidden in the arm ticket. It's an incurable form. Now, news of this came around the time that her first grandson was being born. Cecile lived 67 years longer than the millions of innocent souls whose lives she took in the name of freedom. Cecile Richards, former president of Planned Parenthood, has passed at the age of 67. During her 12 years of overseeing Planned Parenthood, she presided over a certain procedure of nearly 4 million innocent souls. That is all I have for you today. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less.